This is Sally Black, probably the most recognized of all the Douglas Mesa basket weavers. Susan Brown McGreevy wrote an article, how long ago?
84.
What Makes Sally Weave? Was that the name of it?
Yeah.
I think so. Which really brought a lot of recognition to Navajo basketry. But this is a basket that you just wove. It's a vessel. What do you call it, Sally?
The Chief Blanket Design.
Kind of looks like the Canal d'A weaving that they do for the young girls' dresses, coming-of-age dresses.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little background on what you do to gather, like the initial steps, like gathering the materials and then going on to the whole weaving process? Just a little kind of a step-by-step.
Okay. Well, first we have to think about how we're going to get the material again. When we ran out of material, we have to think about how we're going to go out there and gather the sumac. First thing we have to think about is we have to have enough money for the food and the gas, and who's going to help us. We have to make sure we have enough money for that, and then we have to go out there and we have to look for sumac, and we have to look around in the bush, and sometimes there's not a lot. We have to keep looking for it until we have enough to last for a long time. What we do is we cut them and then we bring it home, and then we sort out all the different sizes, and then we have to clean all the bumps, and then we have to cut 3 parts, and then we have to split them, and then we have to take out the center part, and then we dry the top part, and then we peel the bark off, and then we color, and then we have to sharp all the colors just where it's going to be ready to weave with.
So you dye, you heat the water and you dye it.
We have to
just back up just a second. Where do you get your sumac? How far do you travel?
We travel to Colorado, like near Grand Junction, and then Moab.
On the Colorado River?
Yeah, and then we go to Nidarita, and for me, about a couple of years now, for like 5 years now, that I found my own friends that I go to their private yard.
Oh, they have land on the river?
So I go there, and that one lasts me for the whole year.
So you're networking.
So I have a place to go now, so I don't go out and look for it. But
so do you weave them a basket now and again to help to keep that relationship going?
I give them something, yeah. But they always say, oh, you don't have to do that. But I said, we get something out of it, so we have to, in return, we have to do that.
It's good public relations, isn't it? So then you gather enough sumac to use it for the rest of the year, if you can.
Yeah.
That's a good-sized pickup load, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Well, what we do is, I usually get about two truckloads a year, but this time we only got one truckload and a half. And the reason why that happened is there's always a problem in the winter. The beavers, sometimes they beat us.
They beat you to it?
So that's the problem too.
So you're fighting nature to get to it.
Yeah. Half of it, the beaver already beat me, so. Yeah.
That's interesting. So you gather, then you take it home and you split the materials, and then you peel off that inner bark, and you dye those, and then you store that?
For it to last all year.
And then we have Ian had to come see us. So you had to, then you dye it and you save it for all year. So you have a lot of material around then.
Sometimes.
So
But this year it did. It lasted me all year.
So if nobody knows you have it and doesn't come borrow it from you, you're all right, huh?
Well, I had to be stingy with it, you know,
Yeah,
to last.
Because this is your living, isn't
Mhm.
it? That's how you make your living.
Yeah.
So so you have enough material now for a year. Then what?
Right now, we just brought them home. We haven't even sorted out yet. They're just all piled up in our storage.
Yeah. So you've got it stored, and then when you get it prepared, then kind of go into how you weave a basket like this.
Yeah, you have to get all the colors together, and then the rods, you have to keep it moist too.
So you told me one time, I think, that you have an old bathtub that you layer this in the bathtub, and then you cover that layer with clay, moist clay.
Yeah.
And then you kind of build up layers, and so it keeps it moist.
Yeah.
So this is just an old cast iron bathtub that you have?
Yeah.
Is it buried in the yard, or is it
just on top?
Just on top. And the clay is just regular
clay.
And all those layers. So how many layers can you get in that tub?
Just a little bit, not too much. Because if you put a lot in there, it's going to mold or anything. So you have to just put enough where you can use it.
So how do you store all of that you've gathered if it's not all in the tub?
Well, what you do is you can dry them for a while until you're going to use it for like 2 weeks. That's when you want to use it, and then you can put it in. What I do is I kind of put it in a warm water for a while.
Oh, so you're cycling it. Because when it gets wet, then you can use it again.
If you just put it straight in the sand, it takes a while to soak.
Oh, I see. So it's better to soak it slowly than to just dip it in a water and get it wet all at once? Okay. So then you take the rods, the whole rods, and you start coiling. And this is where you would have started on this basket, right here. And so you just start weaving. So this is almost like a reversed flat basket.
Yeah, once you turn this way, it's hard. But the basket is this is the same way you go. But this one, you have to kind of turn and then, backwards this way.
And then you make the corner for and start coming up. That looks pretty hard to keep the sides straight and symmetrical, and then bring it in on the. That takes a pretty accomplished weaver, doesn't it?
Yeah, when you're going back this way, it's hard.